Hello everyone. Today I'm very happy to start with our Women@Tech YouTube channel. So Women@Tech YouTube channel is here to share career journeys of women from around the globe. We aim to inspire and motivate women to pursue their dream careers. And we are very happy to welcome Elvire. And Elvire Katramiz started her journey as a mechanical engineering student at Lebanese University. She later pursued her master's degree in Ocean Engineering and Hydrodynamics from Ecole Centrale de Nantes. She recently received her PhD in mechanical engineering from American University of Beirut. We are very happy to welcome Elvire.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello.
Yeah, so Elvire, can you describe your childhood and how it had an influence on your choice of bachelor studies in mechanical engineering?
Yes. I always get this question when someone knows that I'm a mechanical engineer and being a girl and everything. So actually, why I wanted to be a mechanical engineer is because of a specific section of mechanical engineering. You know that mechanical engineering it's like a broad title for different applications. And my passion was always regarding renewable energy and, refrigeration and how to provide cooling while reducing the energy consumption. That was always my passion since I was a child. And the reason for that is because I grew up in Lebanon, and in Lebanon we have always had this problem of electricity shortage, and we were always like in need of another solution, another source of energy. So that was the turning point in my interest. So this is why I chose to become a mechanical engineer and go specifically into the energy field.
Amazing. So it was your childhood experience of having a lack of electricity that motivated you to choose this field. So once you decided to study mechanical engineering, so how did you know that your the lack of electricity needs can be solved using this particular course? So who supported you into knowing that this is the right course for you?
Yes, exactly. Well, during high school, I had a lot of amazing professors, and we would always stay after class to discuss specifically energy matters. And they were really friendly people, and we always discussed about the future of the students, so what we want to do after we finish high school and so on. And so they started to help us, my friends and I, and so from the conversations with my professors, specifically my physics professor, I was able to have this general idea of what I want to do during my university years.
And can you highlight about how your mechanical engineering course was, and and how did you manage, given it's a known fact, I would say, that there are very less women in mechanical engineering. And so how was your experience studying, the course? Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to tell you that I was, so during my bachelor studies, I was at the Lebanese University, and I was one of three girls of my entire class. So there were really few women in class. And I want to highlight that this actually gave me the incentive to become this better person, I started to study so hard, to work so hard, to do a lot of internships, and I found myself to be the first of my class. So that made me really proud of being this woman in mechanical engineering. That gave me a lot of confidence that I am in the right place and that I'm doing something that I love. So I don't find it a man-oriented job anymore. I find it just like something that a person loves, the person should do. That's it.
So can you give an idea to our audience about, what kind of subjects did you like when you studied mechanical engineering, and and how did you manage to secure the first in your class? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't easy at all. a lot of sleepless nights spent studying, working hard. The specific topics that I enjoyed are, in fact, heat transfer courses, some practical, experiments that we did after class, and mostly the internships that I did. There were also some courses that I enjoyed, which were design courses. There are some courses, for example, like material courses and courses more related to vehicles and this part of mechanical engineering. I did enjoy them, but they weren't my passion. But when you study mechanical engineering, you have to take all the courses. You have to have knowledge in all the fields of mechanical engineering. So that was a plus to me. I'm not using it right now in my work, but I'm glad that I took it. It's an added knowledge to me. So yeah.
Very interesting. Given that you studied your bachelor's in mechanical engineering, how did you choose ocean engineering in your master's? And can you describe about the subject of ocean engineering in few words? Yeah.
Yes, of course. Well, part of the mechanical engineering also is the fluid mechanics, and I was really interested in fluid mechanics during my studies. And not only that, I'm from a city called El Mina in Lebanon, and it's directly at the sea. And as I was a little child, I was in love with the sea, the ocean, and to know that there are actually ways to produce electricity from the ocean. That was something very, very intriguing to me, very interesting, and I wanted to find out, like, what do they do? How is it happening? So like these two passions of mine, these two dear things to my heart, like I found them together, and like I was like, okay, let's see what this ocean engineering is about. So that was something very bold of me to do, because that was a different like let's say itinerary from my bachelor degree. But I took it, and it turned out to be really interesting. So basically, what we studied in ocean engineering was about the wake. I don't know how it's in English because we took it in French, but I'm gonna try to use the right word. So so basically, let's say the very easy and very straightforward example of having the floating wind turbines. I'm sure that a lot of people have heard of them. So we studied the performance of floating wind turbines, how the wake motion affects the performance, and so on. So that was really something interesting. So basically, ocean engineering is focusing on fluid dynamics and hydrodynamics. So it's not very far from mechanical engineering in terms of fluid dynamics, but you get to learn a lot more about the wake motion and the waves motion, and like basically the ship's design, and how you should, everything related to the ocean in general. But my specific interest was and my thesis, actually, my master thesis, was considering the floating wind turbines and their performance, and how you can enhance their performance. So that was really interesting.
Really nice to know, and seeing that has an important concept for us in our future, right? And a potential energy source.
Exactly.
So how was that experience, doing masters in France, and you did your bachelor's in Lebanon, and how was this shift from, moving between countries? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So it was an amazing experience. I think that coming from Lebanon to France for this 1 year of master's studies, it really helped me to flourish, to become this open person that I am today. I really advise every student out there, whether it was for a semester, for a year, for the entire bachelor or even master's, to go to another country to experience life abroad. That would help their personality to become more open to the people surrounding them, to explore new countries, new cultures, it's really a very important stage in every person's life. So I'm really grateful that I have a chance to do this, and I really advise every student to do this because it will really help them and help their personality and their future self, let's say.
And is there something different between, your studies in Lebanon versus studies in France, and what you had to do to, adapt to different methods of,
Okay.
education? Yeah.
Well, actually, no, the education was not very different. But
Okay.
what was different and what was really astonishing to me, and I want to say this, is that in Lebanon, at the Lebanese University, we were always concentrated on studying. So we didn't have a lot of activities, a lot of, after school uh, outdoors activities and something like that. But here, when I came to France, I was really blown away by the amount of activities that we did. So it was not always studying. Of course, we studied a lot, but at the same time, we had our social life where you meet new people, where you go out, where you do a lot of, meet and drink and, stuff like that. And that was really a nice thing to do here in France that I didn't do back home. So it's not actually the education that's different, but the entire aspect of studying here, the entire aspect of going to a university here is different than back home, and I really enjoyed it here. Yeah.
And did you have to like learn different languages? So, what was your medium of instruction in Lebanon versus in France? Yeah.
Yes, actually, in Lebanon, there are a lot of schools that teach French, English, and Arabic, our native language. So I grew up learning French and English as well. So when I
Okay.
came to France, it was really smooth for me because I already knew the language, so I didn't have to worry about it. But of course, for people who don't know French, it's not a big deal because there are a lot of people here who come and they don't know French. But people here, they help them. They are really nice people, and they mostly, if you don't know how to speak French, they will speak English with you. They will help you learn French. So that's not a problem, I think. No.
Very important.
Yes.
And I'm glad many women would want to, choose this field, knowing that yes, they do not know French, but they can still get help, from the school. So are there a lot of schools in France that, offer ocean engineering and hydrodynamics? And why did you choose Ecole Centrale de Nantes for your course? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know if there are a lot of schools. I think that so it's been 5 years now since I did my master's here. So I believe that now there are a lot of new schools and new courses that are given related to ocean engineering, like everywhere in France and generally in the world. So I believe that now it is more and more a topic of interest. Why did I choose Ecole Centrale de Nantes? Well, as I said to you, because I was first in class, I had a scholarship, which is the Erasmus scholarship, and it allowed me to choose Ecole Centrale de Nantes, to choose any master's topic at Ecole Centrale de Nantes. So this is the reason why I chose specifically Ecole Centrale, because I had a scholarship there. And then why I chose the specific topic, I already told you, because I was really interested in ocean engineering and so on.
That's amazing to know that you had a scholarship. And to our audience, it might be interesting to know what are the criteria for you to get the scholarship, and is it just being like do you need to be the top ranker in class, or is there anything else which is which is a value add to your profile that can help them get the scholarship?
Yes, of course. Well, of course, the most important criteria is that you should be the first in your class. Yes.
Okay.
So we were a lot of people who wanted to go to Ecole Centrale, but everyone went, but I was the only person who had a scholarship as financial aid to help me during my life there. So yes, if you want to get a scholarship, you have to be the first and the top of your class. and you have to get. I believe that there is like this minimum average where you shouldn't be below 85, I believe.
Okay.
Of course, there are different criteria that a person should check on the sites of the scholarships, of course. But I believe that, for example, if you are in class and you are the first in your class, but your average is like 70, that doesn't qualify you to take a scholarship. So you have to also have this minimum grade. So yes, of course, students specifically should look into the different criteria before applying. And they should do their best to get the highest grades and stay on top of their class in order to get this scholarship.
Scholarship. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure like our audience is listening, and mm, so my next question would be: you have done a lot of internships, I believe, during your course of studies, like several during your bachelor's and master's. Can you describe any specific internship that impacted your career choice? Yeah.
I would like to mention this specific internship because it is also men-oriented, assumed men-oriented, but I did it and I really succeeded in it. And it was in a maintenance workshop that my university professor had. The funny thing is that that summer, I injured my toe and I couldn't wear safety shoes. So I was always going to this maintenance workshop wearing sandals. And there was this one day where I was wearing sandals, of course, and there was a colleague of mine who was a man, and the professor said, "Okay, let's do this competition, and I want both of you to do welding." So welding is also a very important section of mechanical engineering. So that there was me versus this man, and we were like this fun competition to see which one of us would do this nice welding, so with like a circle or to weld two plates together. And so it turned out that even if I was not wearing any safety shoes and there was this like a small fire bits that like came onto my leg and I was in pain, but I continued, and it turned out that my plates were better than his, and that made me really happy. And that made me even more eager to like, yes, women should do this. Women can do this, even if we were, I don't know, in pain. Even if I do realize that women have, in general, more tolerance to pain than men. But this, it proved it, and like, I was really happy about it, and that helped me to realize more and more that I was in the right place. So yes, that was the funny thing.
Okay, I'm really glad that you did a very good display of your skill set, right, in welding, and this is also a message to women that that mechanical engineering cannot be thought of just a man's job, but they can also be involved in workshops, internships, that can help them prove themselves, and I think you're also an inspiration for women to pursue this career choice. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
But on the other hand, I would encourage women to be safe.
Of course.
And wear safety shoes. Yeah.
Yes. Do not weld in sandals. Of course, that's really dangerous. But
Yeah.
I had to because I was injured. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a note to our audience.
We're not encouraging anyone to weld without the safety shoes. No.
Yeah. Thanks. So at what point in your career did you decide to do PhD?
Actually, I've always wanted to do PhD. I knew it during my high school studies. I wanted to become a doctor and specifically get involved in the research and scientific world. Actually, yes, I've known it ever since. Before I even went to the engineering school, I knew that I wanted to not stop at my bachelor's nor my master's. I want to finish like to the extreme, just to go to the PhD.
Okay. And what motivated your choice for your PhD topic? And what was the PhD topic?
Yes. So my PhD topic was actually about It wasn't very different from my interest. It's about ways or passive cooling techniques. So how to provide cooling in hot and humid climates at reduced energy consumption. And then I focused more on something called personalized ventilation and how it provides the people in the indoor space in good comfort levels and air quality levels while reducing the energy consumption. So always the target was on the reduction of energy consumption. So I was really interested in this topic, and I wanted to say that I was actually accepted in a PhD program here in France in the lab where I was doing my master's internship, and in back in Lebanon at the American University of Beirut. I was also accepted for the PhD program that I later went to, and it was a hard choice to choose between both. But actually, it was the topic that helped me decide. So I was really interested in this topic of the study of indoor environment quality in general, while reducing the energy consumption. So this is what intrigued me to do this specific topic.
And what would you say was the biggest obstacles that you had, during your career journey? Um,
During my PhD, you mean?
you can speak up, yeah, could be the PhD or the master's, or yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the PhD. You know, every PhD student has approximately the same, more or less, experience of having to work so hard. You know, during weekends where you should rest, but you don't want to rest because you are feeling guilty that you should like work more because you know there's this paper that you have to finish and to submit, and there are deadlines, and you know during the PhD also you teach. So I had to prepare courses and to teach courses, so that there were a lot of responsibilities that I had to do. There was this particular accident, not accident actually, that was the 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 explosion of the port of Beirut that happened in 2020, and that was really something that shaped my PhD journey and my life in general, because we were at very close proximity, and AUB is really close to the explosion that happened, and witnessing such huge explosion while having the motivation and the strength to finish your PhD, which is by itself something really hard to finish. So that was really something challenging for me to do. So that was a really tough obstacle for me. And actually, if you ask me how did I manage to finish the 2 years left of my PhD, I don't know, because I started in 2018, and at 2020 it was already 2 years of my PhD that were finished, but I still had 2 more years, and you know it was really a dreadful experience, please to say. But you know, because I was doing something that I loved, I found the motivation to finish it. So yeah, I think that for everyone, if any student loves the thing that they do, I think that they will still find the motivation and you know, this light at the end of the tunnel, just to finish it, to reach that end line. So yes.
I'm really glad for our audience. I would ask them to, go ahead and look at the Beirut explosion in Lebanon, which is widely spoken about. And I'm glad that you got the courage, to continue a PhD in spite, of the news. And I'm sure, your career after PhD would be, as valuable. So what is your plan like after your PhD? And
Okay, yes. So now actually I graduated in June from my PhD. I am a research and development engineer at an energy efficiency company here in Paris. It's called Kipsum, and the target is also to provide recommendations to a lot of companies on how to reduce their energy consumption while not jeopardizing their product quality, their indoor environmental quality. So there are different projects that we take, whether it was for residential buildings, for office spaces, for product, for the production, like in the building where, you do the products and so on. So this is mainly the cause, always to reduce the reliance on fossil fuels, to reduce the energy consumption. So yes.
This is a very important topic for all of us now, I believe. So
Yes,
kudos to you for pursuing a career in the same domain. So what would you say was the most proudest moment for you, in your career journey so far?
Actually, my proudest moment was when I was doing my thesis defense, because when you finish your PhD during the 4 years of hard work and dedication, and you're standing there and like presenting what you have been working so hard for, it's something really that makes you proud that I made it with a good amount of publications and recommendations from your advisors and people you have worked with. So that makes your heart just like want to explode to see people giving you nice feedback, giving you good recommendations for your work that you have accomplished during the 4 years. So for me, that was the proudest moment. Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
successful completion
Thank you.
of your thesis, and also for all the recommendations and and an amazing career profile.
Thank you.
How do you spend your free time, and what do you do apart from your outside of your work? Yeah, is there any
Yeah.
activities that you would like to share? Yeah.
Well, actually, outside of work, during my PhD, for example, I tried to stay as human as possible. Where we didn't have a lot of free time, but during the time where I was not working and doing research, I found time for family, for friends, for my boyfriend. We went out, we had dinner, we went out for drinks. Just to keep my sanity, as they say. Specifically, something like specific. No, I used to every day after work in campus we had a gym, so I went to the gym. That's something really important that I advise every person to do, whether it was after work, after school, because you can like de-stress everything, and it's good for the health and it's good for the mind as well. So I really advise every student to find time. If it wasn't for the gym, it may be go out running, do any kind of sports, just to take everything out and de-stress yourself. So this is really important.
Yeah. Health, yeah, is a very important factor, and thanks for the advice. So at present, what is Elvire's driving factor? What has been Elvire's driving factor, and who has been your source of inspiration for this?
Well, actually, my driving factor is my love for what I do, because motivation comes and goes. People usually say you have to find the motivation, but not every day you wake up and say, oh, I'm motivated today. Some days you're not, some days you are. But your love to what you want to do and your determination and consistency are the keys to have a successful path. So no, it's not the motivation that always is a driving factor. It's the love to what you do. It's the discipline and consistency to your job. That these are the things that will lead you to the long run.
And so how would Elvire want to be known, in the society?
Well, I just want to be known as this woman who is successful in the field of energy savings and reduction of energy consumption, and basically that would make me really happy, because then I would be known in the field where I am passionate about. So I hope that one day when people talk about ways to reduce the energy consumption and renewable energy and reducing climate change and everything, they would mention my name. I hope so.
For sure. We would definitely mention it. And now that we know your journey, we're really proud that you're working in the energy sector. So what would you like to tell girls, who want to take the same career path as you?
Well, if you want to do mechanical engineering or energy studies, go ahead and do it. You don't have to worry about it being men-oriented or not. This is like out of the picture right now. No one thinks like that. There are a lot of women in the field, successful women in the field, and so I encourage you to do what you love. If you love this, go with your full heart and do it, and you will 100% succeed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elvire. And we had like really good conversation.
Thank
We're
you.
very Women at Tech is really happy, to know your journey. And I'm sure your career journey would be inspiring many women around the globe. So
Thank you so
thank you.
much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having me.